If you're looking for a car, you usually have to choose. You can have something reliable and sensible, like a Camry. You can have something fast and scary, like a Mustang. Or you can have something fancy that says, "I've made it." But what if you didn't have to choose? For 50 years, one car has basically been the cheat code of the automotive world. It's the car that CEOs drive to work, the teenagers save their lunch money to buy, and the professional racers use to win championships. It's the BMW 3 Series. But here's the problem. With 7 generations, 100 different engines, and a reputation for being both the ultimate driving machine and a German money pit, which one is actually worth your time in 2026? Today, we're breaking down the entire history, the horror stories, and the absolute gems of the 3 Series lineup. Let's get into it. In the mid-70s, BMW was in a weird spot. They had the 2002, which was a cult classic, but they needed something that felt more grown up without losing that tossable sports car feel. They needed a car that could be a family sedan on Monday and a track beast on Sunday. BMW launched the E21. It looked great, it had the driver-focused dashboard we all love today, but people weren't convinced. It felt a bit unfinished. Then came the E30 in 1982. This was the make or break moment. If this car failed, BMW might have just become another boring luxury brand that no one under 50 cared about. The E30 didn't just succeed, it changed the world. This is the car that gave us the very first M3. It was light, it was analog, and it was bulletproof. Today, a clean E30 M3 costs more than a brand new Porsche, and even the base models are forever cars for enthusiasts. It proved that a compact sedan could actually be the coolest car on the road. By the 90s, BMW was the king of the hill, but the world was changing. People wanted more safety, more tech, and more luxury. BMW had to evolve the 3 Series without making it soft. They dropped the E36. It was faster and more aerodynamic, but fans complained about the cheap interior plastics. Then came the E46 in 1997. This car had a massive weight on its shoulders. It had to fix the interior issues, stay ahead of Mercedes, and deal with the fact that cars were getting heavier and more complex. If they messed this up, they'd lose the ultimate driving machine title for good. Ask any BMW fanboy what the best 3 Series is, and 90% of them will scream E46. It was the perfect balance. It looked timeless. The E46 M3 had the legendary S54 straight-six engine that sounded like a chainsaw in a thunderstorm, and it still felt like a mechanical machine you actually had to drive. To this day, the E46 is considered the peak of the 3 Series lineage. It's the gold standard that every modern sports sedan is still trying to beat.
Moving into the late 2000s, the speed wars were in full swing. Everyone wanted more power, and the old-school naturally aspirated engines were hitting their limits. BMW decided it was time to do something they'd avoided for decades in the 3 Series: turbocharging. Enter the E90 and the later F30. This is where things got complicated. BMW introduced the N54 twin-turbo engine in the 335i. It was insanely fast, basically a baby M3, but it was also a reliability nightmare. High-pressure fuel pumps were failing, turbos were rattling, and the cooling systems were made of what felt like recycled Lego plastic. People started saying BMW had lost its way, that the cars were becoming rolling computers that were too expensive to fix. But here's the thing, once you fix those common issues, these cars are absolute monsters. The E90 M3 gave us a high-revving V8 that we'll probably never see again. The F30 brought in the B58 engine, which is arguably the most reliable and tunable engine BMW has ever made. It's the same one in the modern Supra. These generations might have been moody, but they proved that BMW could do turbocharging better than almost anyone else, giving us supercar performance in a car you can take to the grocery store. That brings us to right now, the G20 generation. When this car launched, people were skeptical. It was bigger than ever, it didn't have a manual transmission, unless you got the M3, and it was packed with screens. It felt like the 3 Series was becoming a mini 5 Series, more of a luxury cruiser than a sports sedan. The competition is also fiercer than ever. You've got the Tesla Model 3 stealing sales, the Alfa Romeo Giulia handling like a dream, and the Mercedes C-Class looking like a spaceship inside. Could a gas-powered BMW 3 Series still be relevant in 2026? Or is it just a dinosaur waiting for the end? The reality? The G20 is arguably the best all-arounder the company has ever built. For 2026, the 330i and M340i are refined, insanely fast, and surprisingly way more reliable than the cars from 10 years ago. The M340i specifically is a one-car garage solution. It's got nearly 400 horsepower, all-wheel drive for the winter, and tech that actually works without being annoying. It's not just a luxury car, it's a reminder that BMW still knows how to make a chassis feel alive. Okay, we've been praising the 3 Series a lot, but we need to have a real talk moment. You see these cars for $5,000 on Facebook Marketplace all the time. It's tempting. You think, I can look like a boss for the price of a used Honda. But there's a reason those cars are cheap. If you buy a 3 Series that hasn't been maintained, you aren't buying a car. You're buying a subscription service to your local mechanic's vacation fund. We're talking about cooling systems that explode at 80,000 miles, oil leaks that smell like a burnt barbecue, and electrical gremlins that make your windows roll down in the middle of a car wash. The secret to 3 Series ownership isn't that they're unreliable, it's that they aren't low maintenance. If you stay ahead of the big 3, the cooling system, the gaskets, and the sensors, these cars can easily cross 200,000 miles. A well-maintained 3 Series is the most rewarding daily driver on Earth. A neglected one is a nightmare. It's all about whether you're willing to treat the car with the respect a precision machine deserves.
So, you've got some money burning a hole in your pocket and you want a 3 Series. But with 50 years of history, the best one depends entirely on who you are. Do you go for the classic, E30, the purist, E46, the tuner, E90/F30, or the daily, G20? Each one has a completely different vibe and a completely different price tag. Here's the cheat sheet. Look for a late model E46 330i. It's the perfect introduction to the brand. It's easy to work on, looks amazing, and still handles better than most new cars. Get a 335i F30 with the N55 or B58 engine. With a simple Stage 1 tune, you're embarrassing Porsches at stoplights. A used 2020-2022 M340i. It's the sweet spot. You get the modern tech, the incredible B58 engine, and the car is still under warranty in many cases. If you can find a clean E30, buy it and never let it go. It's basically a savings account on wheels at this point. At the end of the day, the BMW 3 Series is more than just a car. It's a benchmark. It's the target every other car company has been aiming at for half a century. Whether it's a 1985 E30 or a brand new 2026 G20, the DNA is the same. It's a car built for people who actually like to drive. It's not perfect. It'll leak some oil, it'll demand expensive spark plugs, and it'll definitely make your neighbors think you're a bit of a snob. But the first time you take a sharp corner or merge onto the highway and hear that straight-six engine sing, you'll realize why people have been obsessed with this car for 50 years. So, which generation is your favorite? Are you an E46 purist, or are you loving the new tech in the G20? Let me know in the comments. I read all of them. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 3 Series, do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps the channel more than you know. If you want to see more car content that doesn't suck, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.